What's up, Guardians? I'm Profane, and thank you as always for checking out the video. I'm really excited about today's video because we're going to be checking out the recent updates to Warlock constructs. In this week's update, Bungie made changes to Hellion turrets, Stasis turrets, Arc Souls, Child of the Old Gods, and Ionic Sentry, and these buddies will now count as grenades for all intents and purposes. So today we're going to be testing these buddies out to see the full extent of this update. In this week's patch notes, Bungie says that all the aforementioned buddies will now count as grenades when it comes to stats and universal perks. So when it comes to character stats, this means that with a 200-point grenade stat, you would give any of those 5 constructs a 65% bonus in damage. Buddies that are created through our class ability will still have their regeneration rates determined by your class stat, but to increase their damage, you'll need to invest into grenades, and we'll be taking a deeper look into just how big of a difference this can make, as we've got a little side-by-side comparison that we'll do here shortly, but there's a few things that I'll want to cover first. Most players are already aware that grenade font mods help to increase the damage of your normal grenades, but they're also going to help increase the damage of your turrets. So if you are coming in low on your grenade stat, you should consider using these, as you would receive as much as 50 extra points when using 3 of these mods. But if you're trying to increase the uptime of your class energy, then you're going to want to look at class font mods instead, and maybe even utility kickstart. Now that our buddies count as grenades, we'll be able to generate bonus super energy whenever using the Ashes to Assets helmet mod, and just take a look at how much energy our Arc Soul creates whenever using 3 Ashes to Assets mods. On top of synergizing with Ashes to Assets and other regeneration mods, our buddies will now work with the Firepower Armor mod, which means that we'll be able to create orbs off of these. Our buddies will now be able to synergize with artifact mods, like Cauterized Darkness, which would give Hellion turrets a 30% bonus in damage whenever used against enemies who are debuffed by Strand or Stasis. They'll even work with Shield Crush, which would increase our buddies' damage whenever we've got Amplified or Radiance active. And because of the Fever and Chill artifact mod, we have an easy way to give ourselves Radiance, even if we're not on Prismatic or Solar. All of our buddies will now be able to synergize with exotic armor that plays into our grenade use, and that includes exotics like the Briarbinds, Verity's Brow, and Getaway Artist. But it does seem that Dawn Chorus does not work out as intended, at least when it comes to synergizing with Hellion turrets, as this exotic decreases the damage of this construct. In addition to better synergy with exotic armor, certain buddies will be more cohesive with class fragments. Solar fragments like Ember of Char and Ashes have always worked with Hellion, but when it comes to Spark of Shock, this Arc fragment has never been cohesive with Arc Souls. But after these changes, this buddy will now create Jolt, allowing it to stun overload champions, and that benefit carries over into Prismatic whenever using the Facet of Dominance. Another benefit in using buddies, like Hellion and Arc Souls, is that they will now synergize with Facet of Courage, giving these a 10% bonus in damage whenever used against enemies who are debuffed by Strand or Stasis. As I mentioned earlier, we've put together a side-by-side comparison of how big of a difference building into your grenade stat can be. So we've taken each of these constructs and we've tested out how much damage they deal when at the low end of the grenade spectrum and when at the high. So let's see how much of a difference these make. If we haven't made it clear enough already, it's a good time to be a Warlock right now, because to go along with the update to Buddies, all grenade abilities have gotten a 10% increase to their passive regeneration rates, and with several subclasses getting additional updates, there's going to be a lot of strong options for Warlocks right now. The Verity's Brow is one that I think I'll be playing into the most, but let us know what buddy you're most excited to use, and what build you'll be working around. Let us know down in the comments. Thank you as always for checking out the video. If you enjoyed and found it helpful, then be sure to hit that like button below, along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated, and both really do help support the channel. So does being a member, so a big shout out and thank you to all of our current members. And until next time, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing you all some happy hunting.